sitting in my living room the other day. I remembered my childhood days and how when people said they loved one another, you could feel it down in your heart. Most of my childhood was spent on the farm with my grandmother. Sometime early in the morning, she would pack old bags and take me by my little hand, and we would start out going from house to house. Oh, we wasn't going there to gossip, but I'm talking about real love here. She would just be checking to make sure everybody was all right. Sometime as we walk along, we would come upon a home where somebody was lying on a sick bed. She'd set that old bag down, yes she would, and pull out that old long white apron. She would go in there and she would scrub the floor. She would wash the clothes, go on down in the kitchen and make sure the food was cooked. She would stay there all day long. I'm talking about that love now that you could feel in days of yesteryear. And then as the sun would be going down, she would take me by my little hand and we'd make our way on back over the hill. Oh, out of all she would do sometime, the Lord would call somebody home. We didn't have telephones in those days, but that love I'm talking about right here, you could feel it when something had happened. Sitting in the backyard playing one day, I looked up and saw her standing in the kitchen door with a sad look on her face. I said, Grandmama, what's wrong? She said this: somebody left this morning on that morning train. Somebody left this morning on that morning train. Somebody left this morning on that morning train. She said, somebody left this morning on that morning train. When I sing this song, tears come in my eyes. I hope y'all don't mind if I cry. But remembering this song, you see, a few days ago, my telephone rang, yes it did. My brother said to me, I've checked our mother into the hospital. Says nothing for you to worry about. But down in my heart, that old love stood up, yes it did. I said, thank you, brother, but I better come on down there and see for myself. I knew I didn't have time to drive, so I called the airport and I told them I want a through flight, if you please. Don't have no time to lay over nowhere. In a couple of hours' time, I was standing by her bedside, yes I was. She took me by my hand and she began to talk to me. I said, Mama, why are you saying these things? She said this: I got to leave one morning on that morning train. I've got to leave one morning on that morning train. I got to leave one morning on that morning train. Yes, I have. I got to leave one morning, yes, sir, on that morning train. Oh, she began to talk to me again, and I began to cry. She said, you dry those eyes, my child, and listen to me. She says, I already know what you want to say. She says, I know you're being mistreated because you want to live for Jesus. Said, but you hang on in there. I said, but Mama, what's going to happen to you? She said this: I'm going to hide behind the mountain. I'm going to hide behind the mountain. I'm going to hide behind the mountain. She said, Jesus is the mountain. She said, Jesus, He is my mountain. Where I can weep no more. When I reach the other shore. She kept on talking to me. Every time the tears would start to roll down, she said, you dry those eyes. She said, I want you to sing on, my child. And most of all, I charge you in the name of Jesus. She said, don't you bow down to the king's meat. Said, don't forget about my grandchildren. She said, you tell Tommy to beat them drums for me. Tell him to beat them drums for me. Cause when I walk up to the heaven gate, I want him to give me a drum roll when the gates swing open and I walk on in. She said, you tell Almeida for me to beat that tambourine. Tell him to beat it like Miriam did when God blessed the children of Israel to get on through the Red Sea when Pharaoh's army was behind. She said, don't forget about my carrying. To tell Carrie I would stay around a little longer, but my change is done come and I've got to go home to see Jesus. That you tell Christine for me to be sure her ankle holds and grip the solid rock. Then don't forget about my two Junior to tell Luke to play that organ and tell Junior to play that guitar till the angels in heaven stop what they're doing, shut down to their own hearts and begin to play. I said, but Mama, I'm worried about you. What's going to happen to you? She said to me this, I got a hiding place. I got a hiding place. Yeah. I got a hiding place. In my Jesus. I got a hiding place. I got a hiding place. At the wind blow in your life, you say like God say. If folks talk about you, tell them I got a hide. If you're being mistreated down here, just remember my child. Got a hiding place. I've got a hiding place. In my Jesus, I'm going on home. I'm not worried. I'm not afraid. 'Cause God done blessed me.